Hey there, Gemini, Sun, Moon, but especially rising sign. Welcome to May of 2023. We're going to touch on the most important parts of the sky this month. One is going to be a sense that some of the financial slog that you've been feeling, whether you've been working too hard or feeling unmotivated to make some moolah, is going to change in this month. And you're going to feel a whole new energy around your finances, but also you're going to be opening into some really deep soul work in this month as you get into this new energy of Jupiter in your 12th house. It begins a process not only of enlivening you spiritually, but perhaps bringing you some prosperity if there's any way that you make money from foreign shores and revenue from foreign lands. And lastly, we're going to talk a little bit about Mercury being very busy this month for you. He's the ruler of your sign. He does a GEMINI, he goes into the heart of the sun from his retrogradation early in the month. And that's on the May 1st and 2nd time frame. And that's going to feel like a time for download. So let's get into all the details ahead for you as a Gemini rising. If you're new to my channel, my name is Lori Lothian. I am a whole sign house Hellenistic astrologer using the Western tropical zodiac, not sidereal. I'm also somebody who loves minor asteroids. If you sign up for my channel by subscribing and hit the notification bell, most of my long videos that I do, and I put out sometimes 22 to 30 videos a month, cover asteroids as they appear in our sky. The devil is in those details. And so you might want to learn about those asteroids by subscribing. I'm teaching my Sky Reader course for the third time, Be Your Own Astrologer, Time Your Best Life. It's a 7-week live course with me with bonus modules as well. And we have a Facebook group and all kinds of goodies. And if you want to check that out, look in my description box. Doors are open now for enrollment, and we are starting on the 7th of May. All right. It may be the last time I teach the course, honestly. So if you want to learn that intro to astrology from me for advanced beginners, or newbies, ish to astrology, it might be exactly what you're looking for. And let's get talking about your sky. Well, the first thing I want to say is that you've been going through a window of time where Mercury has been retrograde. So that's number one. Like, just off the top, it happens to you guys a lot, but because you're Gemini, you're very influenced by Mercury in general. So Mercury retrograde is over after 3 weeks. So he's going to go direct around the 14th of May. And that's going to open up a new vibe for you. And what the vibe is going to open up is a sense of momentum in a forward direction in the area where the retrograde turnaround happens, which is your 12th house. Now, 12th house stuff is more of a spiritual place in the sky, okay? It's to do with your inner life, your unconscious, your dreams at night, especially your inner work. Sometimes it's a very practical house to do with foreign lands and foreign travel. Sometimes it activates the activation of education, especially if it involves foreign places. And it also has a lot to do with making money or having commercial interests from foreign shores, foreign to your natal land that you were born in. So Mercury here can definitely bring some commercial success for you if you are doing long distance earnings of any kind. Otherwise, it's a very subtle and soul work energy where with Uranus in the 12th house, you're having exciting new breakthroughs spiritually, new insights through dreams at night, new sense of auspiciousness. Now, because in the month of May, Jupiter will ingress or enter into that 12th house for the first time in 12 years and be there this May 16th to next May 24th of 2024. For some of you, this is the beginning of a period this month of looking at areas of learning. When Jupiter goes through the 12th, we can learn lots of things, esoterica, occult, astrology, weird stuff like that, or anything, because he's activating the 8th house as well as the 9th. So learning becomes a story that a lot of you will engage in over the next year. But if you're a spiritual type, and it begins this year, right? Did I say the 16th, 17th? If I didn't, I apologize. Jupiter enters into your 12th house on the 16th and 17th-ish of the month, 16th really. And so if you're called to learn something, or you feel tickled to learn something, or feel drawn to learn something in midway through the month onward, follow your nose. Jupiter's on the north node of destiny and fate, Rahu. And Mercury, the guy who loves to research and study, is there as well. And Uranus, something exciting, something new, something outside the box of your normal interests. Jupiter can be guru, dispeller of darkness, guide, the one who shows the way, the bringer of goodness. And so a lot of times with Jupiter going through the 12th, people find spiritual teachers coming into their life especially from past lives. But possibly this can also be a therapist, a coach, a life coach, a mentor energy as well. Somebody could show up, yes, in the month of May, May 16th to the second half of the month, but this is true for the next year. There's a new vibe in your 12th house, right? If you have addiction, doing, you're addicted to alcohol or to cigarettes or any kind of pattern of addiction, this can also be Jupiter finding the solutions for you. And this begins in the middle of May. So big deal energy changing here for you, Mars, the planet of new directions, willpower, and action, and passion, by the way, has been in your earnings house. And I started this video by saying, if you've been feeling like you've been grinding too hard, but it's maybe not getting anywhere, like trying to swim against the river, wearing, your warrior garb, Mars in Cancer is what we call fallen. He's out of dignity. And so for those Gemini rising people, especially Sun and Moon secondarily, you've got the warrior swimming in the water wearing his like gladiator outfit and sinking. So you may have felt like you're pushing around money, earnings, and possessions and resources and feeling sloggy, slow, or not successful. On the other hand, it could have felt like you were working really hard and it's like burning you out emotionally and you're not nurturing yourself. Now that's coming to an end as a Gemini rising, especially Sun and Moon secondarily. That's coming to an end this month, and you will like the end of that. It will feel good. Reminds me of the movie 300, where the woman that's the wife of the main character, Leonidas. Leonidas, great name. She says, this will not end quickly and you will not enjoy this, when she gets back at the guy who raped her, but there's a sense that you'll say to Mars, I'm glad you're gone. I did not enjoy this. So out he goes. He's out of the story. I'm losing my battery. Okay, well, just for you, I'm going to get up and change it. I'm not going to pause the recording. Well, maybe I will. Give me a sec, because I don't want to lose you guys. All right, we're all plugged in again. So yeah, I have to remind myself of what I was talking about. Yeah, you're going to feel really good about Mars getting out of your earnings house. And this happens every 2 years, where you get this Mars earnings story where you might make more money, but feel drained by it, right? Now, Mars is moving into your third house on the 20th of May. He'll be there for 6 weeks. And you're going to like that feeling, because this is often about travel. Mars here loves to go on trips. And so you might be traveling quite a lot. It's passion and directionality and a will and desire to learn, taking courses online, especially, or any kind of short-based learning or licensing, or getting some kind of skills-based learning under your belt. You may have some fights with siblings or disagreements during this period, or aunts, uncles, nieces, cousins, and the extended family with some conflict, especially with Mars in fiery Leo. So just be conscious of that possibility and try to diffuse it if you can. Be careful for automobile accidents, honestly, when Mars travels through this part of your sky every year. Especially, I'm going to talk about a gnarly time, but for the most part, you like the vibe of Mars getting into Leo. Sextiles the house of your Gemini ascendant. Just be careful about driving carefully and all of that, defensively for sure. Now, when Mars is moving through the third house, he's also looking up over across the way as he enters your third house at Pluto in Aquarius at 0 degrees. So we're going to say that basically May 20th to the 24th or so, you're feeling a lot of oppositional energy from a Plutonian person, likely in the ninth house. Father figures, educating, like professors, courts, judges, maybe, but with a dictatorial energy or an overbearing, powerful confrontation toward things that are happening in your third house. Now, like, you can go anywhere, a legal conflict with an extended relative about money or about anything, actually, or a trip you want to take to a foreign land because Pluto's in the house of foreign shores, and some tension around that trip or that thing not really going the way you would like or something in those first 3 days there of the ingress, the 20th, the 23rd or 4th. And finally, this is not just a Pluto Mars showdown, which is very powerful. It's a showdown that also drags in Jupiter, Mercury, and the North Node. They're in a triple stellium in the early degrees of the sign of Taurus. And as Jupiter at 1 degree and the North Node at 2 and Mercury at 7, 8 are all getting in the game, this energy feels extremely crunchy. That's the best word I have for it. Like somebody's got you in a vice grip, but the vice grip is in your interpersonal, soulful, spiritual, deep unconscious, whatever you want to call intrapersonal, within yourself, 12th house. So it's very soul work. And the only other way it's not is travel that involves foreign lands. If you're traveling to foreign lands, then it's a travel to foreign lands story. or legal matters in court. Things can be up in the way doing their thing as well. So those are stories that are really intense for a lot of Gemini rising, sun and moon secondarily. And you might want to be careful for that grit. How would I diffuse that? Well, Jupiter is opportunity. Jupiter is bounty and luck. Rahu North Node expands him. Mercury is commerce, merchandising, messaging, traveling, protecting during travel. Uranus is the unexpected. The T square has got a lot going on at the tip in the 12th house. It's so hard to predict so many possibilities, but just know that there's a feeling of needing to break through something, because there's also a grand cross in the sky when we add the south node north node axis, and there's tension in the 6th house as well. So it could be tensions about rentals and properties and debts and work routines going on in the sky for you during this May 20th to the 23rd. So be aware of that. And then it passes and it's done. So Mars is moving fast enough that it's a short-term tension in your sky. Certainly watch for blowouts with people you care about, like your siblings or aunts, uncles, nieces, and nephews, and things like that. That's the worst case scenario, is you have one of those horrible fights that you can't recover from. Now, there's a lot more going on than gnarly tension in the sky, and a lot of it's brought on by Mercury. I already talked. Did I talk about the GEMINI? No. So May 1st and 2nd, Mercury back ends, goes backwards into the heart of the sun, called a GEMINI. And while he does this, he often gives you insights, downloads, and ideas, because your 12th house for you is in your dream house and at night, and he's a psychopomp and he's a messenger of the gods and he's in a house of dreams. There's no doubt about it. Some of you are going to download some incredible insights from a meditation or a dream or something like that around May 1st and 2nd. Really get your dream journal out and see what you get from that. It's a really good transit. At the same time, Mars will sextile Uranus. Now, this is happening all at the same time. That's why we're talking about it. Mars is still in your earnings house and he's sextiling Uranus in your 12th house. The energy here is intense energy that has the potential for some financial breakthrough if you make money from foreign lands. Otherwise, what's coming into your life unexpectedly from behind the scenes, kind of vision, what do you call it, blindsided by it, that impacts your money, but in a positive way. That's the good news, in a good way. So look for that positive vibe, maybe unexpected positive money surprises, backroom deals and negotiations that lend itself to some money things. It's happening in Taurus, right? And Venus herself, the goddess of the sign of Taurus at the time, could be a contributing factor, because Venus, the goddess of money and love and all those good things, she has her own story. She's moving May 7th into Cancer, your money house. Remember, Mars leaves and now Venus moves in. So she's trying to love you up and make you some money and juice you up and give you some sweetness. Who doesn't want that? I would. And I would say that therefore the Mars is not quite left. Yeah, he's still hanging there right until the 20th, but Venus is there with him in your 2nd house, and this soothes it a bit. So I would say there's a potential for some kind of money luck, money surprise with Venus in your 2nd house of money and earnings, and the Mars at the beginning of the month in a sextile. Now, Venus doesn't get there till May 7th, right? So we're talking about something that happens before she arrives. But what I feel like is that Mars jolts something, positive, and then Venus goes in and mops up after him. So I'm going to sort of say May 1st and 2nd, following through to around the 7th, look like developments that are positive, unexpected, and surprising, that you're going to require you to take some bold action that will lead to some positive money outcomes. That's the best way I can get that Mars and Venus mopping it up story. I think I heard my phone ding, and so I'm going to turn off the sound, and so you guys don't hear that. And I'm sorry about that. Okay. Now, next. Because I don't want to do every single thing that happens this month, I'm not going to, because otherwise, as I say, in all the videos, we will be here way too long. We all know there's an eclipse on May the 5th. And for you, that is going to be a huge long video coming out on that eclipse with the asteroids and stars involved. But in a general sense, the eclipse is happening in the world on May the 5th in Scorpio, the last Scorpio eclipse that we're going to have in that part of the sky for another 20 years. That eclipse is happening in your 6th house of debts, like you owe money, pets, tenancies, and rental agreements, daily work habits and routines and health. Full moon brings something to light. Something is now visible under the light, eerie light of the full moon. It brings completions. It completes something or ends something as a full fruition of something that was seeded back in October. And the new moon that happened in Scorpio, then that would have been around the 25th of October in the fall. So you might be able to try to pin October 25th to something now coming to a culmination here in your sixth house, but reminding you all eclipses can take 6 months to unfold. So 2 weeks before, 6 months after, some fruiting of something in your sixth house, but change, completion, endings, and new beginnings. You could rent a new property. You could pay off a debt. You could acquire a new pet. You could lose a pet could pass, why? Because it's south node eclipses, which bring endings, letting go and surrender. Like I'm renting a property, my progressed sun's in Gemini. It's very possible that this will be just simply that saying, because in October was the beginning of this rental. I got the idea at the end of October, a month or two to rent this place. It was a short-term rental. And it ends in July. It just could be signaling a completion of this particular rental unit. That's an example, right? So, it's just something coming to an end. I'm on a Gemini rising, but my sun has progressed to Gemini. Also, I would tell you guys to pay attention then to some of the other exciting sky action going on. There's so much to cover this month. As I said, I'm not doing every single thing, but if it involves something really particular to your sign, I'm drilling in for you. The new moon in Taurus, of course, is happening. A whole video will be done on that. That's happening in the 28th degree of Taurus around the 19th of the month. That new moon can bring you beginnings again in foreign lands, foreign shores, revenue from foreign lands and foreign shores, and new learning directions for you. And that will unfold over the 6 months to follow the new moon in Taurus around the 19th of the month. There is a kind of feeling too that, you've got a jumble of energy, Mercury, Uranus, and the North Node and Jupiter in your 12th house. And if you're not someone making money from foreign shores, then this is really the time to go inward and to really, really go deep into what you want in life and who you think you really are and all of that. Go deep, go deep. Right. Moving onward to some other things happening here. There is a square. Oh, I did that already. Sorry. There is who do you guys need to know about the most? I'm going through all my stuff. All right, we're going to talk about the Mercury thing going on here with a sextile to Saturn and a sextile to Venus, May 10th to the 13th. I didn't cover that already because I'm losing track because I stopped my video. But nonetheless, if I do it again, you'll really learn it. So it's a really auspicious time on the 10th to the 13th because Mercury will sextile Mercury, your planet, all right, in the house of your 12th house, foreign shores and foreign lands, sextile Saturn in the 10th house of career and reputation. Simply said, backroom deals and negotiations could be ongoing from the 10th to the 13th that up-level your reputation. You could get a raise, a promotion, elevation in your career by somebody in authority around that time. But at the same time, Mercury sextiles Venus in your second house of earnings, a raise, a promotion. It looks very good, but a lot of backroom deals, negotiations, and hidden variables that go into this upgrade financially, upgrading your career, etc. If you travel to foreign lands or wish to travel to foreign lands or foreign land travels aren't at all meaningful to you, then this is something to do with how that can help you prosper in some way. Venus is in the second house of earnings and she's trining Saturn in the career house. There's no doubt about it. This little window of the 10th to the 13th really is about creating more enduring financial stability in your life through things you're achieving in your visible career and reputation zone. And if you're single and you're a Gemini rising, especially, you could find love through the work scene or the career space in that window of time. Next on the menu, what might be interesting to you this month. I don't cover everything, but there is a lovely Mars trine Neptune happening on the 14th to the 16th. Mars is still in your earnings house. Remember, I told you it was sloggy. You may not have liked it, worked too hard, got too little, but the Neptune vibe can really up-level you in terms of your visions for how you wish to tangibly activate career success financially. I think around the 14th to 16th, you may make some bold new actions, plans, or take new action, right? Or find some new spark of excitement that you really see the big vision and the big picture and the visionary power of how you can bring tangible new financial rewards into your life that are connected to that Neptune in your career house, where Saturn has helped stabilizing those dreams. And I think we're going to finish up then. And I don't know that I have anything else to say. These are teaser short videos this month. And so I'm hoping you enjoyed that as a Gemini rising, sun or moon. And please check my description box for everything I have to offer in my astrology world. I hope you'll be a part of it. Thanks for listening and take care and enjoy the month of May.